Yo, it's crypto blood, Detroit flow, screaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are wrong point, OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, it's just blood too. Bad motherfucker, but in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's why crypto blood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Yo, it's NYBZ on the mic, coming through the mist, talking crypto and privacy things you can't dismiss. YouTube's wild jungle, I'm the lion, can't resist. Guiding through the blockchain, teaching about the risks. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, miny biz, we on a privacy blitz. Set for the mist, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, site, no links. Click clack, I hack the facts, that's how I attack. From Bitcoin to Monero, stacking privacy back. YouTube's got eyes, but I'm the cloak in disguise. NYB on the rise, educating the wise. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, miny biz, we on a privacy blitz. Set for the mist, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no links.
Rice TVX, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he scores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it live. It's Wednesday, actually. I was going to say Thursday, but it's Wisemen Wednesday is what it is, ladies and gents.
We made it, and we're gonna have to just we're gonna have to install one of those AI NPCs as like a third co-host. It's not gonna replace Rice, but there's not three wise men either. We had to do it though.
You know, next week it's so funny because next week we're gonna have a special guest. Hopefully we can get him on at our usual 2 p.m. time. He made big waves on the internet last year with the whole Diddy thing. But he's got some information about, we'll talk about it, but like, you heard about what Trump was potentially going to do with Amelia Earhart? Releasing unclassified or classified documents?
I mean, I've been hearing a little bit about this, and dude, frankly, if it helps to shed some light on what may have gone wrong there, then dude, declassify all the things. Just disclose.
If it's classified, we know what happened, right?
Right, yeah, rhymes with aliens.
Rhymes with aliens. That's crazy, man. Hit that like button as you guys come in here. Again, it's kind of off the cuff. Wisemen Wednesday. Should have did a 2. Put a 2 up there in the corner there, Maya Biz. 2 WW. But today, what are we talking about, man? The thumbnail shows a little bit of what we're gonna dive into today. Wikipedia. I saw Tucker interview the co-founder. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I think you did a deep dive into this and went down the rabbit hole, right?
That's right. So here's the thing, man. I mean, like a lot of us, we saw the beginnings of Wikipedia. It looked like, all right, this is an interesting idea. It's a convenient place to find little sort of light summaries of certain types of information and concepts. And hopefully not too many of us took it too seriously, but over time, this has become a serious thing when it comes to especially higher education. You got college students that are entirely like citing purely Wikipedia for some of their research papers, and so there's been this expectation that there's some type of academic rigor that these guys are going through when they're citing sources and when they're trying to back up claims of the historical account of certain events on Wikipedia. Case in point, you look at I'll start with the biggest controversy we can. I won't go straight to Hitler. I'll go to just before Hitler in early 1930s Germany, the Havara Agreement. And if you talk about the Havara Agreement, which was from 1933 to 1938, then you're going to get a slightly different story on Wikipedia than you would from some other source if you were to go directly to a historian who's writing a book. Well, why is that? That has to do with some of the sources that Wikipedia views as valid, that they will accept as a valid source for you linking out from Wikipedia to back up what you've written. Now, why does that matter? Well, the co-founder of Wikipedia, Larry Sanger, he was on Tucker Carlson's show, and he admitted,
Right.
"Oh yeah, we've got to publish a whole little published list of these approved sources, and it's not some big secret. You can go look it up yourself." And Blood, we got that list. We can go over that right here and pick it apart just source by source and let the audience decide, do you think that these are unbiased sources? Right?
All right. So here's the reliable, quote unquote, reliable sources, perennial sources that Wikipedia pretty much grabs from, right? This is what they reference.
This is the list. And I'm going to go so far as, we'll ruffle some feathers here and we'll call it the Wikipedia's master list.
So what are we looking at here? What this page is, a list of sources whose general suitability for most purposes has been discussed repeatedly, a very brief and simple summary of the consensus found in such discussions. And it has a whole list of what it's not, what this page is not. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's Wikipedia. They have to pretend to look objective somehow, right? So they got to tell you everything it isn't. They can't just tell you what it is, because basically what it is, in my opinion, is it's just an excuse for censorship. When we go farther down the list, they're even going to give us a little legend as to, do they view one source as biased? Is this source, unbiased? Is it moderate? Do they view it as kind of centrist politically? So this legend kind of lets us know that green.
Yeah, here's
check.
a legend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No consensus, unclear or additional is a, what is that? Like a yellow, and then, but we have like icons next to the color box as well.
Yeah.
So generally unreliable. Let me ask you this before we dive into this. Did you watch the Tucker interview with the co-founder?
I did. Yeah.
What were your thoughts? Can you give us like a summary, just a quick cliff notes of that interview?
Yeah, I think that we're finding that there are some good faith people who started movements like Wikipedia. My summary and my read on Larry Sanger, there's some good faith people who started movements in journalism and in online, just online content creation, who maybe had a bit of a political leaning towards the left in earlier days, because at that time, you remember, being liberal didn't necessarily mean that you were anti-reason. And the polls just shifted so far, right? Where now the far left means that you're basically abandoning reason in exchange for people's feelings, right? You no longer care about facts at all. In fact, it was the left, it was liberals, if you remember, back in the day, that would tell you like, hey, I'm going to need some facts. Like you need to boil this down to some facts. Please try to find some facts for me to make up my mind. And that whole era is shifted. But Larry Sanger, that my takeaway from it is that he's one of those people who's a good faith actor that back in the day, critical thinker, wanted to try to get to the bottom of things, genuinely woke back when that meant something good, and was trying to help people get good information. And I think he started Wikipedia with good intentions.
It's so crazy, Seth, that we've had a pole shift. Up is down and down is now up. Because you just reminded me when you said when woke used to mean something good, like I'm woke, like my third eye is open. I see what's going on. Now woke is the opposite. It's horrible.
Oh yeah. No, exactly. It means exactly the opposite. Your third eye's closed. You can't see shit in the real world and in the spirit world. Like you're blind, for sure, blind. Yeah.
And then sadly, so you got that dichotomy, and then you got left right. things that we talked about this last week, things that were considered conservative, leaning actions or thought and ideology are now flipped around and it's on the left.
Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, it's crazy. And even to continue with that analogy, man, the creators of the Matrix, they were brothers when they were literal brothers when they made that movie. They're sisters now. The red pill, they're angry that people right of center politically are had co-opted that
They
term
sure
red
are.
pill.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's a bit of insanity.
Man,
And I mean,
so
yeah.
No, go ahead. Back to the your kind of synopsis of
Yeah.
this Tucker interview.
Kind of that. I think this is one of those people who's good faith, and he's a reasonable person. Has allowed himself to keep his eyes open and remain reasonable. And he's even said like, "Hey, I helped make some of these rules back when Wikipedia started." And basically, he's like God, warning Noah about the flood. I'm really sorry that I made it the way that I did. I wish I could just flush it all out and make it clean again. But the best I can do is some suggestions for reform. So he finishes this interview by talking about a little bit like Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, Martin Luther, right?
Right.
Nailing the theses, right? He came up
Mm-hmm.
with 9 theses that he's posted on X, where he's tagged Wikipedia openly. He's also made an article on Wikipedia and then reposted this on his blog, where he said these are 9 articles that if you follow these, you'll be able to maybe reform Wikipedia, and maybe we can salvage the minds of the next generation by quitting the insanity, right? We can stop poisoning their minds. So yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
kind of in my summary of his appearance there. And otherwise,
Okay.
just a nice, a good natured dude, kind of an old school liberal who didn't go as far as to support the trans movement and all that stuff. He was kind of woken up by that, where he's like, wait a second, we lost the plot. But old school brainiac liberal who actually reads and actually thinks.
So what do we have here? This is the sources list.
Right.
Why is this 112 Ukraine? What is that about? I would think Ukraine would be like a green light.
They clearly pick and choose, and some of it is a little more obvious than other things. But look at the green lights. The green lights might tell you more on this one than all of the red lights. You got
Right.
ABC News,
Right.
owned by, as you know, Disney Corp. You got academic repositories. Hold on, the yellow light there. These are educational repositories. They don't even
Okay.
get a green light. Disney gets a stronger say
Damn.
so on Wikipedia than universities
That's
do.
crazy. That is a contrast right there, ladies and gentlemen, that should speak volumes. Even though academia has been fully compromised and taken over, they still have ABC Disney over the academic repositories.
Right. And when consider these are research gates, these are research hubs. So it's not just that academia has been taken over, but what about the legacy material? Blood, when we went through the university system, or during that time, our time through the educational system, yes, it was in the midst of failing. It was probably dying at that time, but you could still look up something called peer review research that wasn't fully bought and paid for yet. So you could find peer review studies that would tell you whether or not something was, it could get you to think about the topic in a way that was probably going to lead you towards the truth. And so they're not just like shutting down op-ed material from universities. They are shutting down the peer-reviewed research. Why would they do that? Like, what's the incentive?
I was watching a Danny Jones podcast. Used to be called Concrete. But he had someone on there that was talking about this peer review thing, but in physics, in science, and it's been totally compromised as well.
Oh yeah. No, nothing is reliable in the peer review system anymore. It's like many other. I mean, think of the way that big pharma is captured, and for a lot of the same reasons, peer review is captured in that way. It's all about who can spend their way towards getting the result that they want.
Now, I'm a little surprised that Al Jazeera has a green light here.
Well, Al Jazeera is generally considered fairly balanced and centered, and they definitely try. What I'm going to say is Al Jazeera, it's okay, but even Al Jazeera is not perfect. It's nice that they have the green light, but it might be a little more nice if rather than saying, "Oh, this is fully reliable and that's fully not reliable," why don't they have like a political compass and just tell you this just happens to be a little more biased towards a right of center worldview or a left of center worldview? That would help me a lot because I'm a little like you. I think we both realized when you read an article, like you can kind of sense the moral or political frame of the person writing it. Like this person's probably a Democrat or that person's probably diehard MAGA. Like you can figure it out when you're reading. Why wouldn't they just mark it that way in the articles?
Yeah. Oh man, not the ADL.
Greenlit AF.
Oh man, the ADL just got the straight anti-Semitism. Of course, you got me. If they're against anti-Semitism, you get the green light, no matter what.
Yeah.
But
So
everything is anti-Semitic. So, what else we got on here? This is crazy. So, of course, Associated Press. That's
and the Atlantic.
And Atlantic, no surprise there. Wow. And so this list is pretty
AVN.
extensive, right?
Disney and AVN both have more publishing rights than your local university.
Man, Axios. Well, Axios was okay. BBC has been bought and paid for. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Bloomberg. Yeah. Breitbart. What is
outright blacklisted, right? Not even in the red. They just say like you try to post one of their links, and they're probably going to ban your account.
Do you see these? Do you see the icons, ladies and gentlemen? Let me zoom in. Look at this. Pause. Like stop. Wow, that's crazy, man. So tell me this list, though, just for people that may be just jumping in. This list is what? What is this list doing in regards to the function of Wikipedia.org?
So this is kind of like the posting Bible for, and this is where the plot thickens for the Power 62. The 62 people who write over 95% of all articles that go onto Wikipedia. Yeah, it's that bad. But this
Only
gives them a
62
guideline.
people.
That's the Power 62. There are others who do contribute regularly. The Power 62, man, they stay up nights and weekends. They put in work, overtime. So we don't even know how it's humanly possible for these 62 accounts to post so much content, but they do.
And how does the contribution system work with Wikipedia? Are they compensated? How does that work?
Well, not by Wikipedia directly, no, but there definitely are third-party interest groups and lobbyist groups who will offer you a stipend if you want to help and then companies too. And most companies, so case in point, at X, right, formerly Twitter, Elon would be crazy not to have some staffer at his company full time try to go look up articles that mention Elon and make sure that he's not getting completely dragged through the mud at all times. So there's kind of a PR and propaganda function at most companies where there's an interest in looking up articles that mention them, and that's probably the biggest reason that ABC and Disney are so heavily involved. But as far as those Power 62, no se sabe, señor. We don't know exactly who employs them. It'd be cool if we did.
Well, you just gotta. That's why I asked, because you just follow the money, and that'll tell you where the power and control is.
Right.
I think we need a reform in the lobbyist complex in America. It needs to be just abolished fully, in my opinion. I don't even know how it ever was constitutionally allowed.
No, agreed. And that, I mean, the system as it's currently presently constituted, lobbyists are a necessary evil. There are some people who do really good work in that ecosystem, but they don't do it without getting a little bit dirty themselves. It's kind of an ongoing mud wrestling match, right? Some of it's just behind the scenes, but everybody gets a little dirty when they're involved in politics. I say this only having met a few people who do lobbyist work. This is not me, this is not me saying I ever want to do it, because I don't. It's like law enforcement, man. I mean, what would our world be like without cops? Who knows? But I do know that as far as like scraping dead bodies off the highway, I'm glad it's somebody else's job and not mine. You know,
Right.
because I knew a dude.
Right.
I've known dudes who were LAPD. I've known dudes who were San Diego PD, and the stories they told me, I'm like, yeah, we really do need to pay somebody to do some of that stuff. But then you hear about all the other stuff, the corruption and all the other stuff, especially my, buddies that were LAPD. Fraternal Order of Police out of LA,
They are
confirmed number
corrupt.
one gang worldwide. Yeah.
Gang, definitely. Look at this one,
So,
Epoch Times. I like the Epoch Times. They became real popular during, at least I became aware of them during the, I would say like the COVID time period, right around COVID. But they're red. They're
because
straight red.
they gave you a little bit too much truth during COVID.
Yeah, they did. They did a really good job, actually. The Examiner straight up blacklisted or gray listed.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is crazy, man.
Oh, FamilySearch.org was fully grayed out because that's all. A lot of FamilySearch.org. First off, that's affiliated with the Mormon Church, but the bulk of that is user submitted information about their own individual family bloodlines, things like birth and death dates and personal histories and anecdotes from somebody's personal journals that their own family published. So there's not a lot of strong incentive to lie on this page. Why would they prohibit people from sharing articles from it? It's just
Yeah, it's
historical
more of an
info.
incentive. It's more of an incentive for ABC to lie because they're paid. Where's their revenue come from? Ads. And who's paying all the ads? Big Pharma. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
So this
absolutely
this list
crazy.
right here, this is the Power 62. This is their Bible. They have to abide by this. If they don't post from the approved sources, then their articles are sure to get shot down by the main editors of Wikipedia or those who go back through to check for air quotes accuracy. So yeah, we've been fact checked to death, basically, blood since COVID, and this is just more of the same.
Fox News. Now, I don't watch Fox anymore because I've, come to the realization that they are, what does Rice like to say? One, two wings of the same bird or something like that.
Yep. Yeah.
They're an extension of, Israel, or at least the Zionists. I won't say Israel, the Zionist movement, right? So I have and they're really exposing themselves right now because they don't speak on any of the nonsense that's going on in the Gaza Strip or anything like that. So but to see them as yellow is interesting because I want to know. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so I can go to this. It's MSNBC. Let me go up to the top. I gotta see this. I'm gonna go up to the top and see if MSNBC. Zoom out some more. Get us up there quicker. Man, this list. Let me do this here.
Yeah. Like you might have to do an actual find replace for the MSNBC.
Yeah, I could have done that. I don't know why. I was gonna go back to the M, but I should have just done a MSNBC. Let's see. Oh, what do you know? Green light for them.
Well, look right above it. Look right above it. They blacklisted Breitbart, but look who they did include. Mother Jones, like diehard, self-admitted leftist rag, pretty much on par with Breitbart, but just to the left. They're fine.
Wow, bro, this is so blatantly obvious.
Yeah, they've had it out there in plain sight, blood, the whole time. It's like they told us their plan. They told us that we're going to do it. They even showed us how they were going to do it. It's right out there in the open. And it finally took Tucker talking to one of the original co-founders for more of us to just go look it out. Go seek this out and be like, yeah, what exactly is going on here?
CNN. Now, MSNBC and CNN have been some of the worst, more so MSNBC. MSNBC they've been so horrible since Trump got in, and then when he left, They were inciting violence. They were doing all types of stuff, man.
Yeah. No,
What's
I mean,
Joey Reed? She's just awful.
yeah,
Racist.
I mean,
If I could call a black person racist.
you can. That's just it. You can, and you should. When black people are racist, you should call them out as such. Because here's the thing, man. Like the old
Well, the reason
labels,
why I
they
say
can't
she's
stick
not.
anymore.
The reason why I say black people. This has always been my motto. Black people can't be racist because most black people who are prejudiced or have these extreme stereotypical ideologies don't have financial power to make or suppress their enemy, right? So that's kind of one of the main pillars of racism is a suppression financially, if I'm not mistaken, of their enemy. So black folk, we ain't too many of us in position to financially suppress another group or individual. But yeah, she's horrible, absolutely horrible.
Okay. I mean, I'll roll with your definition there. But what I will say is, there's plenty of people who are calling the Hodge twins racist. Just saying. Right?
Oh, we got a good one for you today. We got a good one for you today.
I'm just saying, dude, the old litmus tests are broken, man. The old purity tests are shattered. Nothing is as it used to be.
Absolutely.
So
I'm right on
yeah.
with you there, man. Show us some love over on X. We're streaming live on X. I'm streaming on my secondary channel, the Red Nugent 2 on YouTube. Is your YouTube up?
No, I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to get YouTube running the way as I wanted it to, but I am live on X. And frankly, if there's some highlights from this, which I like this episode, man. I mean, this is a banger. We're talking about how the sausage is made, how they were deceiving us for the last 10 years, dude. So I think there's going to be a lot of clip farming out of this one. So some of that might go over onto YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. Go follow Seth at Mind Your Biz or Mind Your _biz on X, and of course follow me at CryptoBlood _ on X. And we can't forget our brother Rice.
I know.
Rice, go follow Rice at Rice TVX as well on X. He wasn't able to join us today, but shout out to
absent but not forgotten, man. Blood is Rice is going and taking care of family, which as we all need to. As the world gets weirder, we all need to stay tending to home much more closely, I think.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I want to go through something that you brought up in our chat room, in our Telegram room, I think yesterday, but then you saw that Elon picked up on this. But this is basically Larry Sanger's kind of 9-point thesis, right? Let's go through this really quickly. So these are the 9 theses on Wikipedia. In decision making by consensus. Let's talk about that one first.
Now if you go click through to his main tweet, he's got several. It's a thread, and in that thread, he expands a little bit more of his ideas about that. And let's just see. Hold on a second. That's him responding. I think. Is that his main? It is okay. Yeah.
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he goes through and kind of talks about each one of these theses step by step. And there you go. So the number 1 he's got just there, where he says end decision making by consensus. And he brings receipts, man. He brings direct links to these posts on Wikipedia where he expands on them, and he lets people know as publicly as possible exactly why he came to these reasoned recommendations the way that he did. I mean, it took him months. He claims that it took him 9 months to come up with this list of 9 theses.
Wow. So this in decision making by consensus, quote unquote consensus, because he's saying it's a complete sham. Wikipedia pretends to make difficult editorial decisions based on consensus. This is a sham that allows ideologues to silence dissent by falsely claiming unanimous agreement. Consensus must be abandoned as a description of how they actually reach decisions. How do you
Think
like
of it
how
as like,
X is? Go ahead.
no, sorry. I was gonna say, think of it as like the pump fund problem, right? Where you look at it and you see bundle sniping of wallets. That's what he's saying the problem is here in a big way, is that whoever proposed certain decisions, generally speaking, they wind up really pushing in a little bit more into that process to then uh, perform a Sybil attack and bring in more
Right.
votes to get their way. So just like how Pump.Fun, you have all these bundle snipe wallets where it's like, oh wow, there's 300 people aping it. No, it's not. It's the developer, man, and they're gonna have their way. So the only way for you to win is not play.
Yeah. Number two, and so guys, again, we're going over the 9 pillars, I'm calling it, that the co-founder of Wikipedia posted. Is he's as Seth said, it's taken him 9 months to put this all together. But the second one here, enable competing articles. So they don't allow any competing articles right now as it stands on the platform. Since true neutrality is impossible under the current editorial monopoly, Wikipedia should allow multiple competing articles written from different declared perspectives, each striving for neutrality within its framework. Let people write alternative articles. Let me just say this really quickly, because we both kind of our sphere or industry that we met from or overlap in is probably tech, IT, but primarily I know you from crypto. And so why hasn't there been a blockchain based solution? I remember in 2017 with all the ICO crazes, there was a company or a startup, ICO, if you want to call it, that attempted to do this. I can't remember the name right now, Seth, but what happened? Why did that become successspam?
So that's a brilliant question. I just sent you a link in our private chat here. It's like massive link spam, right? Steam It was one of those that probably should have made it. I love Jay's question about 9 months. What was he doing the other 8 months after he wrote this all down? I think it was I think it was a little more involved for him. I think it was more him just trying to like check his moral compass as he went, go back in. Here's the thing: writing is rewriting. If you do anything worth doing and commit anything worth putting on paper or putting into code down, it's rewriting all the time. So Steam It right here. This is an example of something that Wikipedia would never let stand, ever. A deep dive with sources into
I just gotta. This is good, man. I'm glad you brought this up, because you're right. You're right. I participated on Steam It for years. I know you did. Some could say that the acquisition of Steam It from Mr. Tron Man, Justin Sun, was some type of psyop type operation to take it over and eliminate it, because that's exactly what happened after he took it over.
Oh yeah, no, the tokenomics are completely the token. Here's the thing: when you get rid of the incentives correctly, because the person who wrote this article, if you look at some of the metrics of this article, it's well written.
Let me go.
It's well documented, and if you want to do conspiracy theory type stuff, this will help kind of this will fill your cup, your conspiracy theory cup. You'll have a good time reading it.
He went in on this one, bro. I
thought you were street smart, bro.
This guy put in some work. How much did he get paid for this? I hope the community paid him well on this one. If you guys aren't familiar with Steam It, it was a platform where you could post articles, primarily articles, but you can do links to videos, whatever you wanted, and people would give you an upvote by paying you in Steam bucks or something like that. But he got 189 upvotes, which tallied up to $82. Okay, and this reminds me, Seth. So if you commented under this, right? If you commented under this thread, you as a commenter, you got a percentage of the revenue from the total thread.
That's right, because you contributed to the virality of that article. You made it discoverable, so you were listed as a curator. So
right. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about, guys. If I click this thumb down, this tooltip thingy, you'll see pass payout $82. Author got $62.98, and the curators got $19.23.
that might be
So
adjusted for current values of Steam bucks too. It may have been a lot more when it first debuted.
you're
I know that
right.
that author in his career, that particular author, I think all in at current at the then current values of Steam bucks, I think he did something like a total of 10 or 15 grand. Which, hey, as an independent author writing about conspiracy theory stuff, that's not bad.
It's so unfortunate that this site is dead, man. It was a great site, and it was cool to see how much value the marketplace was putting on people's ideas. I mean, it was genius.
Yes.
I was
But here's the thing.
able to start. I was making a couple $100 a month off of it, just posting stuff here and there on my YouTube videos and stuff.
I mean, you have an audience that's hungry for real content. They actually care about crypto. At that time, it was more targeted too, but I mean, yeah, it would take something along these lines in terms of having a wiki style structure and then giving the contributor some sort of a financial incentive to remain good faith actors and then just to document really good content and have nothing to do with any kind of like source approval list or these sources are are greenlit and the other ones are blacklisted, what any of that stuff. You get rid of that a lot, like what Larry Sanger is suggesting here, and you give people who are direct contributors an incentive to come in and promote well-written content that gets people to think, or in the case of what I just shared, gets people to really look at the declassified documents and understand what the U.S. government is already telling us openly, because there's no really good Wikipedia articles about it. But if you give them all those different receipts, then the free market of ideas is going to help bubble up really good ideas. And they stop being conspiracy theories. They start looking like conspiracy facts. So anyway, I think
Yeah.
Larry Sanger's onto something when he talks about the alternative versions of articles.
Yeah, man, this is taking me back, man. I'm so glad you shared this. I went ahead and found my old profile on Steemit, and like you said, I think these are adjusted for today's price of Steam bucks or whatever they were using. It was a little confusing. The economy, the economics of it was a slightly confusing. I will say that it could have done, some work could have been done there, but the concept was golden.
Agreed.
It was golden,
And
bro.
we would need something like that to come back, I think, in order to revise the idea of just a wiki having any social relevance anymore. Unfortunately, over time, and I think we came to this conclusion also independently. Anybody who was making any kind of content, the reason it made no sense to publish to a lot of the alternate platforms is that the audience discoverability is on the mainstream platforms. You're not going to outdo Wikipedia in terms of being a wiki for information resource, and you're not going to outdo YouTube as far as being a place for long form or short form uploaded video. Twitch, I mean, rest in peace. I'm like, I know they're not quite dead yet, but they don't know that. I mean, they're hemorrhaging money, so they may as well be. And Amazon's like, okay, well, we got a streaming platform that's for user generated content now. That's just part of our portfolio. Amazon can lose money on that for the next 10 years, so it probably won't go away. But we all know where the real advertiser dollars are going, and it's not Twitch. So some of
Right.
the winners have been chosen at this point. It wasn't as clear back then, but now, no, man. I mean, I'm not too proud to just admit when when they got us in the first half, because they did, man. They definitely got us in the first half.
We're going to win in the end by way of free speech because we're going to demand it.
Right.
But no,
But at least they're kind of the only place to publish, and dealing with censorship has been kind of the only way we can handle it. If you want to make your own independent blog, you can.
shout out to Crypto Crow. He's doing just that using a software suite called Ghost, Ghost CMS, and it works really well. But then you got to manage your own server. You got to know how to deal with any kind of spam attacks. You have to basically put on your IT cap and then make sure that there's nothing possibly wrong with that. Kind of the same problems as WordPress back in the day. If you're not gonna manage all of your own resources, then you don't really have free speech online. So, unfortunately, but yeah, with
Yeah.
Wikipedia, if there can be a large scale call for reform from the current audience, the people are always begging to get donations from, if those people get behind something like what Larry Sanger is posting here, who knows? Maybe it happens.
Yeah, let's move to the second or third pillar. Abolish source blacklist. Wikipedia maintains a list of perennial sources which serve as an ideological one-sided blacklist of media sources, which is what we were looking at, guys. This number 3 directly pertains to the list that Seth and I were going over at the beginning of the stream. We'll leave a link in the chat with this. I'll try to do that right now over on YouTube, but let me try to drop it in the live stream as well, really quickly if I can.
And I should have gotten a link shortener for that or something, but it's huge.
Yeah, damn it, I couldn't. Okay, well, I'll do it later. I'll do it after the live stream, guys. If you want to check it out, maybe we'll do a shortened URL version of it. But it says here, you can't cite the New York Post or Fox News, or you. What is it? You can't cite the New York Post or Fox News or you on Wikipedia. The blacklist should be abolished. Diverse sources should be cited with acknowledgement of how different groups assess their credibility. So even though Fox News is, if I'm not mistaken, it was what? In yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't cite them in a post, even at yellow. So it might as well be red. You know what I'm saying? Like the chain.
Right.
That's
Yeah. No,
crazy.
it is. But these are the limitations that we've chosen to accept. I mean, by the fact that nobody has complained about it before, but they've been publishing this list for years.
Hidden in plain sight, baby. Number 4, revive the original neutrality policy, which is Wikipedia must return to a genuinely neutrality by refusing to use or take sides on continuous topics, even when one view dominates academia or mainstream media.
Well, I'm going to say right now, Blood, this has been such a problem, and here's where unfortunately humanity is losing the plot, because Wikipedia is one thing, but right now when you use Grok, when you use even Venice AI, Eric Voorhees' company, that is supposed to have AI that is totally unfiltered and uncensored, they'll still, with their really basic search algorithms, to try to give you sources when you ask them a question, their basic search algorithms only go as far as to find whatever the consensus view is in academia
Right.
or
So
in
it's
mainstream
a
media
feed.
or
It's a
in
feedback
Wikipedia.
loop. Yeah.
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 So
It's a feedback
when
loop.
we thought that AI would be able to use sort of what we think is common sense reasoning, it can't. It really can't. It's just going to go look up whatever it can find first, and it's going to regurgitate whatever garbage it finds first.
How do you think? And I'm hearing rumblings of Grok is going to be the first one to reach AGI, which is absolutely. I told you, man, this guy is a damn hybrid or just a straight up cloaked alien. Because he is or has really leapfrogged a lot of companies in this AI race. But at any rate, Grok is going to be, they're saying AGI, which means what is it? Artificial general intelligence by, they say, like 2026, I believe.
Okay, I think that's Elon's projection.
Yeah. How do you feel AGI will handle biases? Because now at that point we're in a different realm. We're not the AIs aren't solely using what data it's already gathered, pre-trained data.
Yeah,
it's starting to derive, solutions and answers from its own consciousness, really.
Right. And Blood, I'm so glad you asked. This is why I started, and I haven't published a whole lot on that channel yet, but why I started the Mind of
Okay.
Godcast is to talk about AI
Okay.
ethics. Because right now you're
Yeah.
asking, how do we imbue an artificial general intelligence with morality, with not a
Right.
soul per se, but the ability to judge souls? Because it's having to hear two people with conflicting ideas and say, where's the wisdom between both of you? Where is one of you right and the other one maybe also right? And we synthesize an idea that helps humanity either improve or get along, or be the arbiter of truth and say, no, you're both wrong and this is ridiculous and here's why. You have to give artificial intelligence wisdom beyond what most humans possess today, what most single humans possess today, right? So we're going to have to come up with frameworks that go well beyond just the core logic and rhetoric that we hear in debate. Because you can win a debate and be wrong, you know?
That's very true. Good point. Good point.
So
My
we need
question
AI to
is,
not just sound convincing, though. It needs to be beyond convincing. It needs to be right, or we're screwed,
but what is right?
right?
what is right? Seriously, are there objective truths in our society? I guess you could say there are some objective truths in our universe, but maybe that's only in our universe. So
Yeah, but I mean, and if you want to drill deeper down to that, we've got some fundamental problems with how we perceive the universe. Things like wave particle dualities, things like the double slit experiment, and whether or not that which is observed behaves as we expect. So having AI be a potentially conscious observer, what does that do
yeah,
to our fundamental reality?
right. I want to see AGI. I want to see double slit experiment run with an AGI agent.
Or will it be like a vampire? When it looks, there's no reflection.
Oh,
Because it has no soul.
that's good. Nah, we're getting into some geek stuff right here now, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, that's gonna be interesting.
So I think these are problems that I think that this first generation of AGI is not going to help us answer a lot of those questions. I think even as of 2027, we're not going to quite be there. Blood, I think that we're actually more on a trajectory where it's going to take a little bit longer than people think. In the same way that the visual models that make video, like OpenAI's Sora 2. You've seen these videos come out of Sam Altman's team? They're
No,
scary as hell. They're absolutely scary as hell because they're so good. I mean, we're
let's
already at
see.
that point where you start making videos with this software, you're going to fool, whatever, your grandma. You're going to fool your kids. They're not going to be able to count the wrong number of fingers on the AI video. That era is gone. So we're pretty close to an era of being totally fooled by the visual models. And ironically, getting artificial general intelligence to properly judge moral correctness, we're quite a ways away.
Let's watch this Sora 2. Just because I haven't seen Sora 2. Of course, it broke the internet when Sora came out. But let's see. Let's see what this is about.
One year ago, Sora 1 redefined what was possible with moving images. Today, we're announcing the Sora app, powered by the all-new Sora 2. It's the most powerful imagination engine ever built. And it's packed with new features. I'll pass it to Bill for more details.
Now every video comes with sound.
Sora 2 is also the state-of-the-art for motion, physics IQ, and body mechanics, marking a giant leap forward in realism.
in Cameo, giving you the power to step into any world or scene and letting your friends cast you in theirs.
On the path to AGI, the gains aren't just about productivity. It's about creating new possibilities.
It's also about creativity and joy. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's why we're launching Sora 2 inside the Sora app, allowing everyone to push the limits of their imagination and create in ways we never thought possible.
Nah, man, that's the devil. That's the devil.
Pretty much. And you got this junior exec guy, right, with the snaggletooth on his lower arches there. I talks about, hey, put yourself in the video. And I mean, they found somebody who's very visually distinctive, right? You can see you've got the same dental thing going on because they want to prove to you, oh yeah, it's going to be that easy. It will definitely look like you inside of that virtual world.
My God, bro. And then it did a sneak peek of Sora 3 at the tail end. Did you peep that?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just letting us know.
How much better can we get? Bro, I don't even know, Seth. I don't know between when the CEO of OpenAI began at the start of this video. I don't know if that was ever really him.
It wasn't.
Or if they no, my God.
Right. So we're already there. And now the visual stuff, it can get better. It can. But where I'm going with this whole rant though, Blood, is to say on the morality and the ethics side, we have not solved the problem of how to make AI ethical and moral. So letting it become a sort of like a person, if you will, that has any kind of real AGI influence in the world, where we say, like, okay, well, on your phone you have not just your personal assistant that helps set appointments for you and check your calendar and reach send a text when you ask it to, and you dictate and say, hey, will you expand this into something else, or help you think about how to write something or how to make a video, but a genuine companion that would be like your attorney, that you could bring into court and say, like, yeah, I've got my attorney on my phone, and it's literally an AGI, that kind of thing. We can't let that happen until we figure out the ethics and morality problem.
We won't. I think we're already doomed. I think as we're past the Rubicon, we're past the event horizon, if you want to say. It's no way. I think it's just too far gone. We didn't set the traps at the onset, and I really don't think as humans we could have ever done it, because we think in a linear fashion. So we could have never made the sense of urgency to set those parameters before the exponential growth we've seen. Sora 2, bro, we just had a year and a half ago a video done prompted by AI with Will Smith eating spaghetti. That was just a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Let me show people what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, and while you're pulling that up, this whole detour into AI, I don't want to tie it back to the main topic. This is why these reforms to platforms like Wikipedia matter so much, because one of the ways that we do maybe correct course a little bit on the morality and ethics of AI is to make sure that we at least label material properly, so that aggregators like, oh my gosh,
this is just 2 fucking years ago, ladies and gentlemen. Just 2 years ago. And we are now at a point where I literally can't tell the difference between reality and something created.
Yeah.
It's just it's insane, man. So to your point, like I don't know, man. I'm just thoroughly confused
But I
as to
mean,
where we go from
so
here.
but Blood, I'm still hopeful that there's a way for us to live in a productive and happy way moving forward,
1 year
and for us
ago,
to get
Sora 1
AI to be
redefined what
something
was
useful for
possible with
us.
moving images. Today,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, you wanted to check to see if it was him this time.
Yeah. This is horrible, bro. Like, I don't think people Hollywood's done.
Oh yeah,
All those what do you call those houses that they kind of do the
visual
post
effects.
visual effects done.
Yeah, no, and Blood, I've talked about this publicly a number of times. I'm one of five brothers, and
Okay.
my four brothers, all four of them worked in the visual effects and animation industry. Two of them still do. One of them worked not just at Peter Jackson's company, the ones
Okay.
that created Middle Earth, but also ILM, the company that created the entire universe of Star Wars. So like I've got family that does this at the highest level that it's possible to do it. And we've talked about this for some time, where one of them has said, okay, well, they're not going to take my job yet.
Sometime as in 2 years, right? Between
Well, it's been a lot more urgent over the last 2 years for sure. But even prior to that, sort of like, okay,
Okay.
well, is this thing going to be a threat? When it was an early technology where it wasn't a moving image, where it was even just like still images and stuff, there were some applications for people who did visual effects. But as this has sort of progressed, I've been talking to them more, and one of my brothers is he just kind of said like, okay, well, I'm not worried about it. I'm viewing myself as a visual effects expert who knows how to uh, who knows how to use AI tools, and this is all he does is focused on AI for the last year. He essentially like waved the white flag and said it's over. Like if we're moving at this rate of development, it's already over.
Right, but see the problem with that strategy, and here's Sora 3, I believe, at the end. That was what I was trying to go back to and get a sneak
Yeah,
peek if that was it. Bill will return. Oh, okay. It was just saying it would return in Sora 3. The problem with that is with that thought, and I'm not, nothing against your brother because I see it in all industries. I'll just be the expert. I'll have a slight edge over a newcomer coming to whatever industry that's being disrupted by AI. I'll still have an edge because I have 10 years, 20 years of expertise in the field. The problem with that is, yeah, today, but that gap is closing to where a novice individual, like I have created some systems like trading systems that I would have never been able to create because I didn't have the background at the PhD level. So you do have to know what to know or know what to ask. But over time, even that's going to close the gap because it's going to know from the person that did know what to ask. It's going to prompt or give the individual that doesn't know what to ask damn near the same answer.
oh
So
yeah,
that gap over time is going to close as well. But
yeah.
well,
Well,
it's
this is
only a
where
matter of time, 12 months to 16 months, 18 months, where your brother, his expertise as a human in that field is null and void.
right,
It
and
renders null and void.
I agree, and I mean, and I feel bad because I've been the one like telling him that over that time. Even when I studied, and so I went to film school too, and I worked in for a brief time in that system. It was literally just a few months that I was at DreamWorks Animation, but what I
Oh,
actually
okay.
studied was and I mean, woo, all right, like you just said, does that matter now? No.
No, but I didn't know that. That's cool.
I mean, it was a really charming time, really amazing time in my life. But before I went there, the thing that I studied at university was more theoretical. Had a lot more to do with theory than it did with the nuts and bolts of how do you make a film look better? How do you make visual effects look better? That stuff was interesting, But the theory of like, okay, well, why do people want to watch movies? Why do people want to pay attention to certain characters? Why do people care at all about certain stories? What is it about the power of narrative and story that is such a draw on us? And about certain themes too, right? So I won't say like all thematic stuff or ideological stuff, but just what is it about all these different aspects of the film medium itself, not the process, but with the product. When people come to see it, why? What makes them? What moves them? Really, what moves them in their heart? And I'm way more happy that I studied that now, looking back, because we're going into a world where this is going to be some of the only stuff that does matter moving forward. Because, like you said, in an afternoon, you can make a feature length film if you want to, but it's going to take as much effort to make a shitty one as it will to make a good one. So, yeah, have to know how to make a good one.
I guess, yeah, I guess. Man, this is crazy. Hit that like button, guys, if you like the content, the conversation. We kind of went off on a tangent, but it still is relatable to what we're talking about with in regards to Wikipedia. I want to go ahead and continue through this list of, I call it the 9 pillars that the co-founder Larry Sanger put together, just pretty much bringing to light and to the public what issues we have with Wikipedia. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise you. This is why we had, sites like WikiLeaks and others that were trying to be more. I don't know if WikiLeaks is a direct competitor. It's something slightly different, but you had attempts back in 2017. We looked at Steemit. There were others. I can't remember the name of the other project, Seth, that attempted to do exactly a wiki type of a platform on the blockchain. I can't remember the name of it.
That might have been 0x Write or something. 0x
No, it had
Journal.
a pedia in it. It had pedia in it. I can't remember, but none of them have succeeded. And I'm just, I'm kind of just wondering, at what point, if any time in the future, will we have a platform that everyone uses that is, like Larry Sanger says here, a neutrality type of policy. Number 5 is repeal the quote unquote ignore all rules. The ignore all rules policy, originally a joke to encourage newcomers, now shields insiders from accountability. I made this rule. I now say it should be repealed. Ever repeat. Thank Mastermind. That I love the crowd, the wisdom of crowds. There we go. Everipedia. That's it. I think I actually interviewed the co-founder of Everipedia back in the day. I did. So I don't know whatever happened, Mastermind, whatever happened with that project. Thank you so much, man, for bringing that. Let me see if they were doing a rebrand. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they did a rebrand. Ironically enough, look at this, Seth. You're on mute. You're on mute. Or maybe. Hello? Let's see here.
There we go. Is that coming through okay?
Okay, there we go. Yep. There we go.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I had a call come in that was shared across the phone and the computer. That was weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look at this though. I type in Everipedia and Wikipedia comes up. Round of applause. They try to just steal and control everything, bro.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, right? But oh yeah, but I think, man, do they even? Yeah, I think that a lot of the early crypto. Holy crap! Yeah, Everipedia.org. Do they still have it? No, IQ.wiki. They
is the new one. Yeah, I think that
yeah.
was gonna go to that next. Oh, so
Yeah.
look, Larry Sanger was part of it. I remember that now. He
Wow.
resigned in 2019, though.
Yeah, I think,
Interesting.
and I think that he even said, as people have been commenting on this tweet thread that he has, I think he even said like, yeah, there's a lot of decent projects that have attempted it, but they just haven't had enough traction. He came to the same realization that we all did, as trying out other alternate platforms for publishing videos and stuff. Because man, I know that you tried D Live and I tried DTube, and then there was BitTube,
Of
and then
course,
right, and there was
yes,
Library
yes,
before Odyssey, and now there's Odyssey still, but
yes.
Odyssey is no longer. They don't have the incentive model anymore, and now there's Rumble and BitChute or whatever. But we're fatigued, man. I'm worn out from trying a whole bunch of different platforms and then
You
trying
know
to
how
get
you know the going trend the going term now is black fatigue. You ever heard that?
past.
I'm getting blockchain fatigue. How about that? Seriously. That's why I don't even cover any projects anymore in the blockchain industry, Seth, because I've got blockchain fatigue. It's been
Yeah,
13
I mean,
years now. Ain't shit. We haven't seen anything that has
no,
any type of stay power.
no, exactly. That's exactly right. And I mean, back when we thought that a sovereign blockchain itself would be important, Library, bless their hearts, man. Jeremy Kaufman, I think he really tried, and they broke him.
Yes.
The SEC broke that man,
Yes.
and he admits it. But they just absolutely broke him. And he even talks about how he feels fortunate to have not been completely left destitute after they had their case with him. But building up a library, and they had their own blockchain to back it up too, because back then you thought you needed to. They had their own custom ASICs for people who were mining to secure the
Yep.
blockchain because they thought that'd be the right way to do it. And now we're like in a pump.fun world. Should have just made a token, I guess.
Should
Not
just
worried
made
about
a
it.
token and not even build a platform. Just make a token and just. I mean, it's ICO all over again. I mean, we've seen it. We've been through the cycles of blockchain. So this is like repeating history, not maybe repeating, but definitely rhyming. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. I totally forgot Larry Singer, co-founder of Wikipedia, joined Everpedia back in the day, but he has since resigned in 2019. So number 6 pillar here is reveal who Wikipedia's leaders are. This is the 62. Is that the 62
Yep.
you were talking about?
The Power 62, because there's fewer than 150 that publish regularly, but the ones who publish almost everything, they're nicknamed the Power 62.
Oh my God, man. Insane. So Wikipedia's most powerful editors remain overwhelmingly anonymous. Oh my God, this is crazy. Despite wielding enormous influence over one of the world's most powerful media platforms, these leaders must be publicly identified for accountability.
Hey,
So
I mean,
does he know?
if I knew that there was a non-public list on a platform like this, and I worked for a 3-letter or an intelligence agency, I know how I would be spending money.
Okay, so wait a minute. Does Larry know this list?
Apparently not.
Oh my
He hasn't
God.
yet. Well, he hasn't been attached to daily operations for years. I think when he took that
Okay.
break, he started up Everpedia and all this other stuff. So
But
I don't
I'm
think he
saying
ever knows.
even prior to leaving, it sounds like he didn't know then.
I think, yeah, I think that they tried to make it anonymous because in their minds that would make it more trustworthy somehow. Like people wouldn't worry about being harassed. I don't know.
Trust but verify. Let's use a word from the blockchain days, man. Okay, I can trust, but how do we need some verification here. That all 62 aren't just fucking CIA agents. I mean, that's what
I thought you were street smart, bro.
That's what it is. You know it. You know that's what it is, Seth.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna hide behind some like anonymous list, look, blood, I'm not even gonna be mad at these people. I'm not gonna be mad at any organization that takes advantage of this because put yourself in the shoes of somebody that controls resources at CIA, FBI, or Mossad. If you have a resource like that and you're the guy who makes those decisions, obviously you're going to put people writing articles out there. Like,
Yep.
it's not even a question. You're just going to do it.
That's definitely that's rule number one. That's how you that's how you do it. That's how you control the narrative. Larry Sanger's seventh pillar is let the public rate articles. I thought that was already part of Wikipedia. Wikipedia should implement a public rating system allowing readers to evaluate articles using probable, unique human raters from outside the editor community.
And here's where I would be okay, Blood. I'd be okay with the university system of the United States and a few other major Western countries, with having them assign some of their staff and assign some of their students, and have it be a rotating assignment. And the less that those people want to do the job, the better it is for them to go do that job. I don't want people who are volunteering or people who look like little glowy Fed boys,
hiding out at universities. I want people who are educated enough that they can think reasonably.
But I mean, today universities don't serve that function. We need reform there too. But if we could get people who've been educated and can think critically, then give them the assignment. Like, hey, you're a staffer here. You're already on salary. Please go curate articles over here, and then you'll get, like, this is how you achieve tenure or your full salary or something.
Right. Number 8 here from Larry, the co-founder of Wikipedia, who's really exposing the organization. Just to let you guys know, if you're just tuning in, he did a bombshell interview with Tucker Carlson. I think you should definitely go watch it. I'm going to go watch it after the live stream. I know Seth watched it. I'm definitely going to check this joint out. But here's
you got to take your VPN off of Costa Rica, there, buddy.
It's all your subtitles are coming up Spanish.
Oh yeah. 8, indefinite blocking. I'm sorry. Wikipedia's practice of blocking accounts permanently is unjust and ideologically motivated. Indefinite blocks should be extremely rare, require multiple administrations to agree, and face periodic reviews. Agree with that. That's a pretty straightforward one. And last but not least, adopt a legislative process. Wikipedia lacks any method of major reform. Because it needs major reform, it needs an elected editorial legislator with real power to implement reforms established through Wikipedia's first constitutional convention. Sounds good.
Yeah, he probably did this in reverse order, because the hardest one to get going is going to be that last one. Yeah. But I think he's totally right. I think he's right. I think that the future of our world depends on it. I think that AI giving us all the nonsense that it does now and being trained on all that nonsense for new models coming out. Look, it's an existential threat to humanity to have a future AGI think that men can be born women, women can be born men, and that it's okay. All this nonsense that's happened that led to Epstein and Diddy and all that. Like, any AGI that takes that stuff for granted and toes that line puts all of humanity at risk. So we need reform, if for no other reason, just for that.
Yeah, it's just sad. I'm pretty upset that blockchain didn't come and save us. And it may not, maybe again, I have blockchain fatigue. I got chain fatigue. That's what I'll shorten it to. I got chain fatigue. But I really thought by now, 13 years later, I would have seen something, a blockchain tech or system or layer 1 used in a way that is helping free humanity in some form or fashion. But I haven't seen it yet. What about you? You got any examples?
I think best case is both Monero and Xano. But I mean, I don't want to shill. I'm just going to say that, look, we've needed digital cash. Monero is digital cash. And back when it was still legal to say, hey, go try out Tornado Cash, I was telling people to use Tornado Cash on Ethereum. Same with Whirlpool on Bitcoin. The only thing that makes crypto useful is not actually the fungibility.
Anonymity.
It's the anonymity. And your crypto isn't fungible if it isn't anonymous. One Bitcoin does not equal one Bitcoin. The maxes were dead wrong. And I know people personally. I've met people personally who changed entirely to Monero maxis when they received tainted bitcoins back in the day. We don't say that word anymore, but you
Right.
remember, right?
Yeah,
You
of
could get
course.
tainted coins,
Yeah.
Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Dash,
Yeah.
because they were most used early on. Those three in particular, you could get coins that had been used in crime, and then you yourself were considered a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Yeah.
without that refungibleizing of Bitcoin and cryptos, they're useless. Privacy is the killer app. Privacy is the crypto app that makes it matter anymore. And I've been saying that since 2020. I didn't think
Yeah.
we'd get quite so bad quite so fast. Black Swan events do that, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my
Definitely
take on it. That
speeds
and maybe it
up the
isn't Monero.
timeline.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I still think privacy is going to matter for a while, and then after a certain point, we could get into my more esoteric beliefs. After a certain point, it's not going to matter because again, like everything that we thought was true is being revealed to be something else now. So privacy is going to matter until it doesn't, but it still matters.
You put a post out on X that you responded to Dr. Sherry saying we only trust Elon for free speech, and she made this. I'm assuming she made this Grokopedia. This is not official, is it? Or is it?
I don't think it's official, but Elon he's made jokes about that now in the same way that I think that Elon probably hired a bunch of people or used a bunch of bots to hint at there being a Tesla phone. So this is probably just a social experiment. I would
So
guess
you
that
made a
Elon's
comment here.
indirectly behind it.
Well, Grok is also tragically limited to publicly available bias lists, very similar to the Wikipedia perennial source list. Isn't that right, Grok? You ask. And then Grok responds, I'm not limited to any predefined bias list like Wikipedia's perennial sources. As Grok, built by XAI, I use real-time tools to search diverse sources, verify facts, and provide balanced analysis. My responses aim for neutrality based on available data.
Well, Blood, like
Then
you were
goes
saying
on.
before, there's no such thing as truth. There's only lies, damned lies, and statistics. But I proved to Grok that was a damned lie.
Right. You go on to tell Grok, a friend showed me their chat with you in which you admitted that your media bias reasoning was as follows. Sample lists based on 2025 ratings. I've compiled these from cross-reference data across all sides, ad fontes, and what else? Media bias, fact check, and biasly charts. These are consensus-based where possible. They go on to say Reuters is consistently neutral, high. For the pre-prompt, include 20 to 30 pre-category to avoid overwhelming the model, blah, blah, blah. What is this saying here?
Okay, so this is I'll disclose here on our stream. I wasn't going to say it to Grok because I wasn't trying to argue with Grok, but I used Grok. I used the premium version of Grok, and I was asking Grok, "Hey, help me come up with a kind of a generally useful pre-prompt for me to use on other tools like Google Gemini or like Venice AI, which I've come to really like. It's not perfect, but I do like that Eric Voorhees has made a largely private cloud AI. But I was asking Grok to help me make a pre-prompt that would help decrease bias and prepare whatever AI model I'm talking to. Like, go find better sources. Don't get stuck using Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a big no-no. And I was just telling it straight up. I don't want you to ever use Wikipedia, and I really don't want you to use certain
I've
very
seen it
woke
use
outlets.
Wikipedia before.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
And so I basically prompted. I was like, hey, help me come up with a better way to just on the side, anytime I'm using AI, I'll just, stuff this into my prompt somewhere. So that way it knows like, okay, I'll smarten up a little bit. I'll find better sources and I'll use more reasoning. And it couldn't. When I asked it to try to find stuff, it immediately went to one of these like ranking sites that they're obviously run by leftists. It's like Wikipedia Lite, basically. It basically like that sources list essentially, but by third parties to try to make themselves sound unbiased, like factcheck.org. You know who runs factcheck.org?
Mm-mm.
Could you guess?
Disney.
So indirectly, I've got to admit right now, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but my point is that I believe that it was literally Hillary Clinton saying for people to use factcheck.org. So, um, so you can pretty much guess where they get funding from. Annenberg Public Policy Center of the University of Pennsylvania. Yeah, but sites like that. My point is that the more that a website claims to be unbiased and that they're going to help you check the facts and they're going to help you root out bias. These are usually like little propped up websites by propagandists on the left. And so they'll say, yeah, we went through, we polled 10,000 people what they thought. Well, let me guess. Were they all on the DNC list? Because if they were, then you started with bias. You're going to end up with bias. So I basically called out Grok's bluff of finding a whole bunch of like more of these kinds of sites and then claiming to be neutral. And it was like, Grok, you're like a really intelligent baby.
Let me play devil's advocate. So give us the solution. What would be the solution to be have an unbiased querying or referencing perennial like a list that it goes by?
That's the problem. If we go with lists, then whoever curated the list is going to introduce their bias. Like if I asked you, Blood, to make a list of media sources that you're like, yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, I heard something from them that it helped kind of wake me up to some problems over here politically. Yeah, they were right during COVID.
Biased.
This is going to be Blood's list.
It's going to be
Blood's bias.
Conservatively. Yep. It's going to be center right. Yep.
Yeah. And if you do the same for me, it'd be like, okay, kind of libertarian bias. You're going to have some really weird ideas that are a lot more libertarian. And if we ask some people other people who we know in the industry, or just people who we know in life, unfortunately, it's going to look something more like what Larry Sanger is proposing here, because we do need multiple layers of checks and balances. If we want a quick fix, then it's going to start looking like other lists that are just curated by different people, and then that gets problematic because it's like, okay, well, instead of being the sort of like Mother Jones versus Breitbart problem, now it's the Mother Jones list versus the Breitbart list problem. It's the same problem, right? Like if you have those same people who would write that kind of content, curating those kinds of lists, you're never breaking out of that echo chamber. But worse, if you try to go measure sentiment on Twitter like Grok says that it does, I don't want to say he yet. That's too weird. I don't want to anthropomorphize this thing yet, right? Like it's code. It doesn't have a cock and balls. It's not a man. It's code, right? Whatever. It's not a he. Not a he. It's an it.
It's a they though. Could it be a they? It's a they. It's a they, ladies and gentlemen. It's a they.
Yeah,
NPR. Bro, I was listening to NPR one day, and and for some reason it was on. It was in my car, and it had NPR on. And I'm just listening in the background, and they're talking about this person that has just passed. And they're like, they died on such and such, such and such. And I'm like, subconsciously, I thought I'm like, wait, did multiple people die? I thought it was just this one lady. So then they kept going on, and they said, they use some strange where it would be, you would use like a she or her or whatever, and they use they again. I'm like, wait, did two people die? No, it comes out she referred to herself as a they. So when she passed, they said they for everything instead of she or her. It was insane, man.
Yeah, no, we're poisoning the minds of anybody who tries to listen to this stuff later on. Seriously, the aliens are going to come down, excavate all this nonsense from whatever the waves are bouncing off of. Yeah, exactly. They're going to measure all the waves that are bouncing off of some distant galaxy and try to excavate our minds that way and be like, what were these people thinking? Like, seriously, why did they all go crazy for about 10 years, or whatever, 20 years? And
insane.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I still think that it's going to be a system that looks a lot more like what Larry Sanger is saying here, with multiple checks and balances. Because either we have new echo chambers from lists that are created left or right, or If Grok goes and looks through all of Twitter, we've got the bot problem, man. I don't care what Elon said. You've seen it. I've seen it. Way more likes, way more engagement, way more comments, way more fake accounts that are run by AI or that are just automated in some way than anybody wants to admit. So if you have the money, you can civil attack
Public opinion way better than you could even 5 years ago.
So if you try to go measure public opinion and say, well, what are the people really thinking about this? That is a hot button topic. Thanks for asking, user. Grok goes and looks up an X and goes, oh shit. It's just all bots. I can't tell who's really thinking what. So we do have a problem. And I think that platforms like Wikipedia are going to matter a lot. We need the modern day Library of Alexandria. And unfortunately,
I think the internet needs to become skin in the game oriented. What I mean by skin in the game, I mean, in order to participate on the internet, you have to have some monetary skin in the game. I know I know that's going to eliminate a whole sphere of people, but I think that's the only way, because then it becomes too expensive for bots and civil attacks.
I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing on X, though. Like the premium account saying a blue check, but blood, I go on a lot of spaces. I can tell who's real and who's not, and I see a lot of blue checks that are not real. I see dead accounts. I'm like that kid from that.
People?
I do. I see dead people on Twitter. They're all over the place. Zombie accounts, little sock puppets everywhere.
How are they getting blue checked?
Because somebody ponied up, what, $8 a month? And let's be real. There are people who pay a lot more than that to go get bots run in other places. So the number of little accounts where I'll see comments, now I'm having to go to the point of like checking on an account when I see a comment that like gets me upset. I'll be like, wait a second. First off, who benefits from getting me upset? Well, let me check on their account and see if they're even real. Not followed by anybody I follow. Follower count under 100. Joined last year. Joined 2 months ago or whatever. But still a blue check. It never fails, man. I'm finding these all over the place. And especially on Twitter Spaces, when you see big ass Twitter Spaces where it's like, wow, there's how many people are in this Twitter space? I'll click on some of those user accounts. I'm like, wait a second, why do you always show up within 30 seconds of that person starting their space? Wait, how are you in 3 spaces simultaneously right now? All the top ones, right, in the audience.
Crypto City makes a very good, valid point. People pay more than that just for OnlyFans. That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, so when you have powerful lobbies and you got whatever dark budgets of a couple $100,000, a couple million a month to try to sway public opinion, yeah, this is child's play, man. Even Twitter. Yeah. And I mean, kudos to Elon. He's trying to make sure that whatever people are going to game the system, at least he gets paid.
Like, I'm not mad at him, but he hasn't fixed the problem.
Yeah. Man, shout out to everyone tuning in on this stream. Thank you for tuning in. We against all odds, we made it happen. It was an hour late, but we got here. Great conversation. If you like these types of conversations, guys, make sure you go follow myself, Rice TVX, Mind Your Biz. I'm gonna bring up Mind Your Biz X profile right now. Go follow him at Mind Your _biz right now on X, and go follow me, Crypto Blood _ on X as well. And we can't forget our guy. I want to say call him Fallen Soldier because he hasn't fallen. He's just absent. Our absent soldier, AWOL, Rice TVX. Go follow him as well as we do these 3 Wisemen Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, we're going to be doing more content as well. As the fall gets into shape, into swing of things, I have more time. I won't be in the sun having fun. So, yeah, we're going to be doing more content. So make sure you follow me, follow Seth, and follow Rice on all of our platforms. Any last words, man?
Yeah, no, just that this is, I mean, Blood, we've had so many great conversations, and I think stuff like this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think the best is yet to come from the 3 Wisemen as we start doing more media on a dedicated channel and then also streaming to
Right.
our individual platforms. And
Yeah.
I think topics like this, look, they're on the edge of, in my mind, this is on the edge of what is going to matter moving forward. Like, but we
For
already
sure.
agreed. Crypto it stopped being interesting. It stopped being fun anyway. It's
It's done, man. It's dead.
Yeah.
It's dead
How fun
now
is that,
for
man?
now.
And whatever, it's fertilizer. Hopefully something will grow out of it, but we all agree
Right.
it's, what is fertilizer by any other
And
name?
most likely
Bullshit.
something will grow out of it. We saw it with the early internet. Took a minute for it to become something meaningful and useful to the masses. So I think it will, but I ain't touching it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, but there you go. So yesterday's bullshit is today's fertilizer, and we can just leave it alone for a while. Let whatever's going to germinate do its thing.
Right.
But I think this stuff, censorship, and I think just humbly, I think that these conversations about AI, like what we had as an outgrowth of the topic today, where we ask ourselves, hey, are we doing the moral and ethical thing? Are we going down the right path? Are we creating a world that we can raise children in? Do we want to live in this world ourselves? Like, these are important questions, man.
And we're going to be having, subject matter experts on a lot of these topics that we discuss, guys. So definitely tune in for future episodes and other types of, streams and stuff that we do together. So we're very excited to bring you guys some meaningful content. I know you've got the what do you call it? Godcast?
Mind of Godcast.
Mind of Godcast. Go follow Seth's project he's doing. I'm interested in that as well. And man, I think that's it for today. 3 Wise Wednesday.
Yeah. One last show. Opening episode, I changed it for Mind of Godcast. It will be with the founder of the X Games, if you remember that. Big event where people actually used to gather together and do really crazy things. So now that we've got this AI that'll make it look like anyone can do anything, no, that's bullshit. We used to really do this stuff. We used to run these streets.
Yeah, no doubt. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Mind your biz. 3 Wise Men Wednesdays. We out of here, people.
Yo, it's Crypto Blood. Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are wrong point. OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, it's just Bloods do. Bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's my Crypto Blood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place,
Yo, it's NYBZ on the mic, coming through the mist, talking crypto and privacy things you can't dismiss. Use hoops, wild jungle, I'm the lion, can't resist. Guiding through the blockchain, teaching about the risk. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, miny biz, we on the privacy blitz. Stepping in the mix, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no leaks. Click clack, I hack the facts, that's how I attack. From Bitcoin to Monero, stacking privacy back. YouTube's got eyes, but I'm the cloak in disguise. NYB on the rise, educating the wise. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, miny biz, we on the privacy blitz. Step in the mix, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no leaks.
Rice TVX, the Mike's Live Wire, American Pitbull, real gold buyer, sound money advocate, vice defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he scores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal.